Forgot to unmute the microphone. Are you kidding me? So let me do that again. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Today's video or stream, we're going to be talking about the Steam Deck again and what version might be best for you. There's three different versions. There's the 64 gig, the 256, and the 512, and they all have their own little unique pros and cons. So without further ado, let's get into it, and I'll eat my breakfast. So to the desktop, and now let me know in the comments what version you've bought. Obviously, the most gaming power you've ever held in your hands. It starts at $399. I'd recommend getting the middle ground one, the 256, the 64 gigabyte. If you're only planning on using this for emulation and stuff, I'd probably see get the 64. But if you're planning on putting real games on this, which is what this thing's meant for, real AAA desktop PC games like Death Stranding, like Call of Duty Warzone, like Doom Eternal, wanting to get the 256 or 512. Now, just reserve the 512 version for Q2 2022. Yes, sweet. Good job, man. Good job. MLG, Mendonk Beast. I pre-ordered mine yesterday morning. I'm excited now that Ubisoft is coming on board. Ubisoft is coming on board. What's on? Hold on. Ubisoft Steam Deck. Is there something new with them? Ooh, look at this. Ubisoft CEO Yvette. No, Adblock is not getting turned off. I'm gonna go to IGN's article then. No, they're forcing me to do it as well. Once. All right, refresh page. Okay. So it says Ubisoft will put its games on Steam Deck if it's big enough. Oh, interesting. Hey, James and Patrick, good morning, man. So yeah, after migration to Epic Game Store, Ubisoft says it will consider putting games on the platform. Interesting. After a pointed departure from Steam releases in recent years, Ubisoft might be reconsidering the platform thanks to Valve's recent new handheld announcement, the Steam Deck. In its Q1 earnings call today, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot responded to an investor question about his thoughts on the Steam Deck by suggesting it might spark future Ubisoft game releases on the platform. We're happy to see Steam Deck coming to the industry. It shows that it continues a flow of very innovative new hardware coming to the market, he said. So we will look at and see how big it becomes. But if it's big, we will be able to put our games on it. I mean, they should be able. We don't need Ubisoft's blessing to put their games on the Steam Deck. It's a gaming PC that you can install Windows on and run full fat games. We don't need games ported to it. But that's a good sign though that Ubisoft might be taking it seriously enough to maybe consider optimizing their games for this thing, which should be great. And we obviously, if you're running this thing on Steam OS, you're not going to be able to install. You're not going to be able to install like the Ubisoft store on it, right? Well, you probably can. There might be a way, but it's going to be a little bit weird. But it says Ubisoft does already have a fairly robust library of games on Steam, but its releases have tapered off in recent years as it's partnered with the Epic Game Store on titles such as The Division 2 and several subsequent games in 2019. At the time, Guillemot said this was actually a decision to direct customers to its own Ubisoft store, whilst also taking advantage of the better terms offered by the Epic Game Store, which only takes 12% cut of sales from publishers compared to Steam's 20 to 30% depending on how well a game sells. Since the Steam Deck is effectively a handheld gaming PC, all Ubisoft's existing Steam catalog would already be available on the device when it launches starting later this year. It also is worth pointing out that Valve has confirmed the Steam Deck will be able to run the Epic Game Store and other PC storefronts. So all this could just mean that Ubisoft continues business as usual. However, Guillemot's statement may indicate the shifting tide for future releases if the Steam Deck is successful enough. So Ubisoft seems to be, looking into the Steam Deck, and like Mendonca says, might be willing to support it and optimize their games for it potentially in the future. So back to the storage. So the 399 has eMMC storage, 64 gigabyte. eMMC. It's going to be fine for smaller games. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting a big AAA game that has a lot that uses a lot of like that 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 streams a lot of like heavy texture packs and everything like that. Like I wouldn't be playing something like 4K textures on this thing. It's going to be chugging quite a bit, and the loading screens are going to be pretty slow. So like I says, the 399 I would only get if you're planning on playing light games, indie games, emulators, stuff like that. But if you're really wanting to take this thing and play this thing to the full extent of what it can do, take advantage of it, then get the 256 or 512 because they have NVMe SSDs, the same thing that's in the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and it'll give you the best speed that you can, the best speed for gaming basically. I mean, allow you to take full advantage of that. Now the 529 comes with the faster storage, obviously the NVMe SSD. Also has a micro SD expansion slot if you want to just boost that up to 2 terabytes. It comes with a carrying case, they all do, but it also has an exclusive Steam community profile bundle. Now I'm not sure what that is. We're going to have to do a little bit of researching. And then you have the big bad boy, the 512 for 649. This has the faster storage. It's got a the 512 has something that none of the other ones do, and that's the premium anti-glare etched glass screen. So yeah, it's gonna be more of a matte screen, so you're not gonna really get many reflections off it. The closest I can think of is like one of those the screen protectors you get for your phone that make it matte instead of like glossy. That's basically it. But the thing is, if you get the 256 gigabyte, you could probably still get a screen protector that gives you that sort of the anti-glare effect of the matte screen anyway. They sell stuff like that on Amazon, so you can maybe, I wouldn't buy the 512 just for that. Exclusive carrying case, has the exclusive Steam community profile bundle, and it has an exclusive virtual keyboard theme. I wouldn't buy this for the for a keyboard theme either. Hey, bye Shanna, Jared. The Steam Deck has great specs for the price, but the buttons location show they spend less than 1% of the budget in design. No, I think the button look. Listen, I think the button location isn't actually going to be that bad. If you think about it, all right. Look at the PlayStation controller. Look at the side. Look at the side of the Steam Deck, and look how far. Look at the distance from the. Look at the distance from the buttons. From the shoulder buttons, the face buttons from the shoulder buttons. It's virtually the same distance when you think about it. See, the buttons here are at the very top corner of the DualSense controller, right? They're at the top left corner of the Steam Deck as well. So I don't think the button placements are going to be that weird. And if you hold your PlayStation controller and imagine the thumbsticks are up here, up here, just a little bit higher than they are on the controller, you're going to get a rough idea of what it's going to feel like to play with. And I don't think it's going to be that bad, honestly. I really don't. I think it looks kind of weird. It looks kind of weird in the photos. But honestly, in practice, when you actually hold the thing, it's not going to feel weird at all. Because, your fingers are already at the top there. When you're holding this thing and, pressing the buttons, it's going to feel pretty natural. I think it just looks weird. It's going to be fine. No glare. I think the buttons are bang on. Yeah, like I says, the position looks a little bit weird, and it looks like it's going to be awkward to hold. But from what I've heard from people that have spoke about like having held it and stuff like that, it's going to be pretty comfortable still. It's going to be a non-issue. I'm a little disappointed in the Steam Deck. I can't play Destiny 2 and a few other games. You can't play Destiny 2 and a few other games. What makes you say that, MLG? Clueless Kid, you need to get one, Clueless Kid. I think the buttons are bang on. It's so close, so maybe better for gaming. And yeah, exactly, yeah. You don't have to stretch your thumbs down. You don't have to stretch your thumbs down when you're playing this thing. It's all going to be up top, and obviously, if you want to stretch your thumbs down a little bit lower, then you can use the trackpads as well. So yeah, what version did you guys get if you got one? I know MLG said he reserved the 512. James, are you getting one? And also, Clueless Kid, are you planning on pre-ordering one too? Which one are you going for, Clueless? This looks so good, dude. It looks so good. What was I going to do? Search for another article. Steam Deck. Steam Deck. Valve will replace Big Picture mode with the new Steam Deck UI. Ooh, so for those of you guys... Oh, here we go. So, So yeah, if you don't know what big picture mode is basically on the desktop client of Steam. You can go into big picture mode, and it basically puts you into a more like console type interface. And I think it's kind of what Steam OS on the Steam Deck was based off of. So it makes sense that they're going to bring the Steam Deck's UI user interface to the desktop. So you could sort of have a Steam Deck experience on your gaming PC, which is pretty cool. It says, and also, let me see, let me put this here. So Valve will replace big picture mode with the new Steam Deck UI and updated controller-friendly layout for Steam. So yeah, if you want the Steam Deck experience without having to buy a Steam Deck, and you have Steam installed on your gaming PC or your laptop even, then you're going to get that, because they're going to be transitioning the big picture mode to the Steam Deck UI, which is going to be fun. So hopefully this actually happens. Hopefully they replace big picture mode with the Steam Deck UI before December, and that will give us a little feel of what it's going to be like having, like, using the Steam Deck, because it's going to be the same user interface. What's up? Hey, funny moments, Jared. I haven't ordered mine. I might go for the middle one. Yeah, the middle one's a pretty good, decent model. Yeah, I'd go for the middle one for sure. And I've also heard that even the 64 gigabyte does have an NVMe SSD slot in it. So even though it doesn't come with an SSD, there's a chance that you're going to be able to open this thing up and install your own SSD. And what's interesting is Samsung actually sell a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. It's like a really small NVMe SSD card. It's a pretty small one, but Samsung sell a 1 terabyte for $180. So if it does in fact turn out that this 64 gig model has an empty NVMe SSD slot on the motherboard, and you can access it, then you could potentially just spend 180, and that'll bring the price up to what, 480? Sorry, 580. And it'll give, you could have a 1 terabyte SSD inside it, and it'll still come out cheaper than the 512 model. So if you did buy the 64, it's not, it's not the end of the world. You can possibly, depending on how things turn out, and we'll see when people get this in their hands, if it is actually possible to install an SSD in this one. They don't want to advertise that, obviously, because it takes, if they advertise the 64 gigabyte of this having upgradable SSD storage, then nobody would buy the 512 or the 256. Pre-ordering one right now isn't a bad idea. $5 deposit. Yeah, $5 deposit to get your hands on this thing, just to reserve it. And if you decide to cancel it, then a worst case scenario, you lose your $5, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to them adding the Steam Deck UI to Steam, because we can get a rough idea as to what this user interface is going to feel like, what we're going to be able to do, and all that good stuff. It says, big picture that converts Steam's user interface into a more console-like design, better suited to TVs and controllers than monitors and mice, may not be long for this world. According to Austin P. Valve, a Valve employee posting on the Steam community forums, the plan is for the new UI from the just announced Steam Deck handheld PC to replace big picture mode on the desktop version of Steam as well. Valve announced Big Picture Mode in 2011 and released it the following year. The mode formed the basis of the UI for Steam OS, the version of Linux that shipped on console-style devices that were part of Valve's ill-fated Steam Machine project. I remember that. Like, Valve sponsored this project where different manufacturers could make specific, like, Steam PCs, and it was just a big flop. With the Steam Deck running an all-new version of the operating system called SteamOS 3.0, it makes sense that the redesigned UI would make its way back to the PC client, especially since Big Picture has felt outdated for quite some time. Valve isn't giving an ETA for when the UI will make its way to existing PCs. The Steam Deck is set to start shipping in December, though the level of demand has meant that new orders are being pushed out to midway through next year. I think it would be awesome just to be able to play Warzone whilst traveling. Because I tell you, British Computer Guy is the sort of guy that carries a PS5 in his backpack when he's traveling. That is commitment and dedication. But yeah, carting around my PS5 from hotel room to hotel so I can play Warzone every night with you guys will end up killing me. MLG, some guys aren't compatible with the Steam Deck because of how they are developed for consoles and how the deck is Linux based. Well, you can install Windows 10 on this thing. I mean, it is by default it's running a distribution of Linux that's like optimized and that's SteamOS layered on top of it, and it does have a compatibility layer called Proton, which converts like games and apps designed for Windows and have allow them to run on Linux and SteamOS. It's almost kind of like the Rosetta for Mac OS. You know how Apple released the new M1 MacBooks with the Apple silicon inside, and they designed a compatibility layer that allows you to run all the x86 Intel apps on Apple's M1 silicon like processor. It's going to be kind of like that, but you can also, if you want, is just install full Windows on it. Um, so there's that, And the good thing is, if you install full Windows, if you install full Windows on your Steam Deck, they are going to be bringing the Steam Deck user interface to the desktop client of Steam. So what you could theoretically do is install Windows on your Steam Deck, boot up Steam, enter big picture mode, and have the exact same UI as you would have on the Linux version, on SteamOS and on your Steam Deck. So you could that's what a lot of people I can see will be doing anyway. They'll be installing Windows on this thing. They'll get Steam installed, and they'll hopefully by then Valve has added the Steam Deck user interface to the desktop client of Steam on Windows, and then you'll be able to just use it like a regular Steam Deck, except you'll be able to back out and use Windows and stuff like that too. What do you think about the all new digital version? What digital version? I don't know what you mean, Fred. Wait, does it only cost $5 to reserve right now? Yeah, Jared, if it only costs $5 to reserve right now. So if you lose your $5, if you cancel it or something, and you worst case scenario you lose $5, it's not the end of the world, is it? Some games, but yeah, MLG, that's not going to be a problem. Like I said, you can install Windows on it. They're going to bring the Steam Deck user interface to the desktop client of Steam on Windows. And I could see a lot of people doing that. So they could, they could play around in the user on Steam, and then if they want, back out and use Windows and install Windows games. Best computer guy, I'm hoping that's the case because traveling will be a lot easier when you're on a long road trip or a hotel. Damn right. When you submit a reservation, you will be put in a queue. Once inventory is available, you will be emailed in the order that reservations were made. There you go. Fred, by Shan's link to you. Have they said how much playtime you'll get in a full charge? Yeah, I think it's like 4 to 8 hours, I think. 4 to 8 hours. They said Portal 2, which is running on Valve's own little game engine, which is pretty tame when it comes to game engines. You'll get about I think you'll get, what is it? They said 2 to 4 hours if you're running it. If you're running 2 to 4 hours if you're running it at 60 FPS, with unlocked frame rate, and I think 4 to 8 if you're running it at 30 frames a second. So yeah, I don't think many people will be running Portal 2 at 30 frames a second. So like 2 to 4 at unlocked frame rate, 4 to 8 if you're running it at a locked 30. But keep in mind, Portal 2's got a really light game engine. So if you're playing Death Stranding or Warzone even, expect the battery life to be like one hour. I'm not even joking, like 1 hour. But so you're going to really, it's going to be a necessity having to bring a battery pack with you. You're going to need to bring a battery pack with you if you're wanting to play any sort of have a real gaming session on this thing, playing like an intensive game. No problem, Fred. Shanna's always really helpful. She's amazing. Jared, 2 to 3 hours on 2 to 3 hours on Ultra Set. Well, I'd say, dude, I'd say on Portal 2, yeah. But on something like Death Stranding or Warzone, it's gonna be like 1 to 2 hours, I think, and that's pushing it. Rich computer guy, if you're going to travel a lot, perhaps consider a battery pack. I would only imagine that the standard battery life is short, yeah. And like I says, hopefully you could plug a battery pack into this thing and it doesn't keep losing charge whilst you're charging it, hopefully. I need a graphics card. Yes, self-made Reggie, I need one too. I want to get a 3080 Ti. I just wasn't willing to camp outside Best Buy yesterday, all night not knowing what graphics cards they had on hand. But that's cool. So random Switch versus Steam Deck memes are a thing now, apparently, according to Nintendo Life. Valve does what Nintendo don't. Valve does what Nintendo don't. So there's this guy going out with his Nintendo Switch, and he's looking back at the Steam Deck walking past. He's like, now that's a handheld. The reveal of the Steam Deck last week triggered plenty of discussion about its merits when compared to the similarly priced Switch OLED model. Switch OLED. And while it's hard to imagine Valve competing directly with Nintendo in this handheld battleground, it's clear that for some people, the decision about whether or not they should lay down cash on the OLED Switch this year just got a little bit harder, as you'll see from the results of our poll on this very topic. Let me put this over here. However, as is so often the case, the internet hive mind has decided that the whole Switch versus Steam Deck thing is worthy of lampooning. So hence the fact we've seen a few memes pop up over the past few days, some of which are more amusing than others, it has to be said. Nintendo's going to have to step up for real. PS Vita can run Persona 4 Golden. Steam Deck can run Persona 4 Golden. Nintendo Switch can't run Persona 4 Golden. And that's funny because the PS Vita came out in 2012 or something. Switch versus Steam Deck runs Katamari Damacy or Damacy Reroll. Oh, and there you go, runs Katamari Damacy Reroll. Both win. Me in December with the Steam Deck. It's like Toy Story, right? Where he drops Woody. He doesn't want to play. I don't want to play with you anymore. And he's got the Steam Deck. Love these memes. Can run League of Legends. Can't run League of Legends. Conclusion. The Switch wins. It can be used to access Twitter. Can only post to Twitter. Cannot view other tweets. Conclusion. The Switch wins. What? Valve does what Nintendo don't. I like that. That's cool. Hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just make it look different so it doesn't look like you copied it. Sure thing. Steam Deck. Dead or Alive 6 is not available on the Nintendo Switch, but it is on the Steam Deck. Alright, I'm seeing a trend in these memes, dude. They're not that entertaining. Reddit. Let's have a look at Reddit. See what people are saying on Reddit. Steam Deck. Hey Kool-Aid, how's it going, dude? So Steam Deck now has a Reddit with 14.4 thousand members now. FAQ thread. I actually think that might happen. Just find it funny. I'm sure others will cancel. I'll jump a few places. Same. Steam Deck will allow for multiple accounts without having to log in every time. So Gabe, the guy, the CEO or the boss of Valve, he says, "Hi Gabe, my name is also Gabe. Wondering if I'd be able to switch between multiple accounts on the Steam Deck without having to type in my email and password each time, like how Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo will do. I'm so excited to share this device with my girlfriend." And Gabe says, yes. So it does support multiple accounts, and it will make switching between multiple accounts very easy. So for those of you that want to buy one Steam Deck and maybe share it with your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, kids, it's something you're going to be able to do. I just heard yesterday that if anybody wants the 512 GB model, it won't be available to 2020. Kool-Aid, you said that the last stream. You said, it's going to get delayed till July 2022, right? In fact, I just heard, Kool-Aid, it just came in. Anybody that wants the 512 won't be able to get it till 2027, apparently. Yeah. 2027 till you get one. Mine just arrived. Sorry, scalpers. The guy's got a Wii U gamepad with a screen. Did anyone have a Wii U? I can't believe it failed. It was such a good little it was a good little console. It just never got the love it deserved. 2077. 2077, yes, Cyberpunk. Oh, I love the Wii U. It's such a shame that like it just died. I don't think this is a wrong layout. Valve may be onto something. Inputs are near to the thumb's arch of. Look at this guy's actually sketched out. Oh god, I'm spitting my food out here. This guy's actually sketched out what holding the Steam Deck will feel like. That's pretty cool. So for those of you that were concerned about the button placements and the thumbstick placements, there you go. This guy's actually went as far as to sketch it out for you, which is pretty awesome. And it looks pretty comfortable, I must say. Steam Deck UI confirmed to be replacing outdated big picture mode UI. There we go. Yes, we're replacing big picture with the new UI from Deck. We don't have an ETA to share though. Hopefully it's done by the release date. That way for those people that want to install Windows on this thing and still have like a Steam Deck experience, can do that. What's up? Hey, Bundy. Al Bundy. How's it going, dude? Switch has already outsold most gaming consoles. It's disingenuous and a joke to compare it to anything to it. The Deck is a totally different system. Exactly. The Deck is a totally different system. It's basically just a gaming PC, a portable gaming PC, whereas the Switch is its own platform, right? The Switch is its own platform. Developers have to develop for Switch. But I could see a lot of people switching over to Steam Deck in terms of just getting tired of waiting for games to be ported to it. Like, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5, we don't have to wait for Rockstar to port Grand Theft Auto 5 to the Steam Deck. It will just work straight away. You could just literally install it on this thing and it will run. And I'm curious why they never showcased that, because that would have been a good game to showcase on this running on the Steam Deck back when they announced it, you know, because that's what a lot of people want. People want to play Grand Theft Auto 5 portably, and I think that would have got a lot. That would have sold it a lot more. Like having potential customers, even Nintendo Switch people owners, seeing Grand Theft Auto 5 run on this thing would instantly sell it to people. Yeah, my only concern is that the specs might be outdated slightly by the time it's released. I'm about to pre-order. Ooh, okay. Yeah, Clueless kid. Oh, pre-order. Listen, Clueless. It's $5 to reserve it. Get your reservation in before it gets pushed back even further, dude. Discussion: why I'm getting a Steam Deck. I wanted it, guys. If you want Dbrand to make skins for the Steam Deck, you need to email them and let them know right now because they don't have enough interest. I don't think I'll be putting a skin on it. It looks a bit too curved to be putting a skin on. That's going to be a nightmare to skin. Quick renders of the external M2 SSD attachment idea. Ooh, look at that. Someone's actually 3D modeled like an external attachment for the NVMe SSD if you want to expand the storage, which is really interesting because I'm guessing he's got it plugged into the USB-C port at the top. So that's really interesting, yeah. I can see accessory makers making stuff like this. Like a dock that clips onto the Steam Deck. I made a new emoji for the Discord, answer 98, quick. Yes, it's PC. Please be patient, Carl. Oh, God. You think your reservation date is bad? Your expected order availability, Q3 2077? This guy shares the same sense of humor that we have, guys. Companies like GeForce may make their own iteration. I don't think GeForce can. I mean, Nvidia can, dude, because Nvidia's already supplying chips to Nintendo Switch. So, do they really want to step on Nintendo's toes and be like, oh, we're selling you these graphics chips, but we're also going to sell our own handheld gaming console that has a way more, like a much powerful chip inside. I don't know. They had what did they have? What was it called? The Nvidia Shield. They basically had their own version of this, and it ran Android. So it's we've been there. They've done that, and obviously obviously never sold well enough for them to continue it, which sucks. Steam Deck desktop. Here we go. Initial introduction. So I guess this guy's showing the distribution of Linux that Steam Deck's going to be using. This is what the operating system is going to look like. You know, when you dock your Steam Deck, when you dock it into the dock and you plug an external monitor to it, this is what the operating system is going to look like. If you wanted to know, it looks a lot like Windows, but it's not Windows. It's Linux. Has a lot of customization. Pretty cool. Don't be fooled into thinking this is Windows because it's not. I think that's why you've got widgets. It's basically just full Linux that are running with like a Windows skin on it, which is cool. But like I said, you can actually install Windows on it if you want full Windows. Ladies, why are you eating the stream right now? I shouldn't be hungry again. I'm sorry. I don't mean I'm hungry, dude. I only had like chicken and vegetables last night for dinner, and I woke up with that taste in my mouth. You know that taste in your mouth when you've not eaten for so long? It was horrible. So I had to get something in my stomach. I don't know what my address will be in 2022. That's true. I'd imagine though, British, you can update your shipping address before it ships, always like right before it ships. And at this point, if you're going to pre-order it, it's going to be coming like mid 2022 anyway, so it should be fine. So yeah, the operating system looks alright, the desktop version of it. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'm hella excited for it. Oh, the Elite controller has a case that you can connect a cable and charge the controller once it's inside. I would love that for the deck, maybe an exclusive case. Oh, you just know people are going to make special cases for this thing. Al Bundy with a $5 super chat. Absolutely no one has the balls to go head to head with Nintendo in the portable space. The first party games alone is a force that you reckon with. Absolutely, man. Could not agree more. I think the Steam Deck's a different category. It's just a gaming PC in a handheld form. Nintendo Switch is a platform with exclusives. But the thing is, what people have pointed out is that the Steam Deck is going to run more Nintendo games than the Nintendo Switch, which is ironic, right? Because you're going to be able to install emulators on this. It's even going to run a Nintendo Switch emulator. There's a Nintendo Switch Dolphin emulator out right now that allows you to play Switch games on PC.
Absolutely no one has the balls to go head-to-head with Nintendo in the portable space. Their first-party games alone is a force to be reckoned with.
We've seen people playing Pokemon on their PC, like the new Pokemon for Switch on their PC. So yeah, this thing, ironically, is probably going to run more Switch games than, well, more Nintendo games than the Switch. And it's also going to run Switch games, probably. So yeah, that's exciting. 2 pictures from IGN, each with a different button, different hardware builds. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, that's probably like a really beta version of it. That's probably the new button. Although I don't know. How many times a day do I need to check my reservation for it to change to December? I'm currently averaging 5. Is that enough? Should I up it? My solution for high-speed, high-capacity storage on the Steam Deck. This would house an NVMe with a small controller on the back that would snap onto the back with a custom enclosure. It would plug into the USB-C port, then pass it back through another one for charging or dock use with the device. Cool. So yeah, people are getting really creative now with the Steam Deck as like what accessories you can use for it, NVMe expansion, clip-on expansion things that you could plug into the USB-C port. It's really crazy. Steam Deck is great for the Xbox Game Pass, they said. Steam Deck, one step further into making Windows OS obsolete. The Trojan horse. Anyone else liked Switch but didn't buy it because they aren't into Nintendo games and their pricing model? I've gone back and forth countless times when it comes to considering buying a Switch. I consider buying a Switch, then I look at their library and realise that those aren't the type of games I like and move on. Then come back again after a couple of months when I get an itch to buy something portable, then look at the games again and forget about it. Like, how can you look at the Nintendo Switch library and be like, oh, I don't like those games? The Switch has Witcher 3, it's got Doom, it's got like a lot of big games have made their way onto Switch. Joseph, still love this channel, got my PS5. By the way, super psyched. Joseph, good job, man. That's awesome, dude. I hope it can emulate Switch games. It should do, Kool-Aid. If you install Windows on it and run the Dolphin Switch emulator, then absolutely, it's going to run Switch games. I don't know how well it's going to run, but from what I've seen, there's been other little Windows portable PCs like this that people have ran the Switch emulator on, and games run fine on it. So yeah, I think this is going to run Switch games pretty well. If you're a pirate, that is. Well, Bit the Bullet ended up going for an all out for the 512. Yes, good job, man. I know, Clueless. Come on, you need to jump on, dude. Come on, Clueless. Listen. Don't be Billy No Mates, all right. Don't be the only one that doesn't get not Billy No Mates. Don't be the only one that doesn't get one, all right. Foreign transaction fee. I don't know. Reading about that when I saw Steam Deck, but then again, I don't pay attention. Joseph, hey, you got it. Finally arrived. I have a $6,000 PC and Switch emulators run like that. Oh, really? Dude, I saw people. There was people on YouTube. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second here. Let's go to YouTube real fast. YouTube.com. A $6,000 PC. That's overkill, dude. Switch emulator. Portable Windows console. Here we go. Look at this, dude. This is a guy. This guy's running one of those little. It's basically like a Steam Deck, but it's made by some Chinese company, and it's got like, I don't know. It's got one of those like really portable Intel Atom CPUs or something. Look how well he's running the Switch emulator, dude. How can his handheld Windows PC run the Switch emulator, but your $6,000 PC can't, dude? Tell me how. Clueless, it's nice to have something to look forward to. Albany, yeah, it wasn't all at once. My CPU and GPU are brand new. Well, it must be a compatibility issue, dude, because I've seen a bunch of videos like this guy's, for example, where he's running the Switch emulator and getting pretty solid performance on it. You know, and this thing's got to be less powerful than your $6,000 gaming PC. Has to be. Has to be. Look, he's playing Borderlands on it, dude. Let me see. Yeah, this guy's playing Breath of the Wild on his. He's getting, what's that, 32 frames a second? It's using Vulkan. It's got the Vulkan thing on it. Yeah, so that's crazy. Imagine, dude, it's gonna be so fun playing Nintendo Switch games on the Steam Deck, and like the memes that are gonna come out from that, dude. So yeah, that's crazy. Look at that. So this console, the Aya Neo, is basically Steam. It's basically this company's version of the Steam Deck that came out before the Steam Deck. I think it was like funded on Indiegogo or something, or Kickstarter. But it came out, and this guy's basically playing like Wii U games, 3DS games. Here he is playing Pokemon on it. This is the new Pokemon, by the way, X and Y. Not X and Y, yeah. Yeah, X and Y. No, Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield. And as you can see, it's running pretty well. 30 frames a second, like the game does on Switch. He's playing Mario on it. Looking pretty good. He's even playing Xbox 360 on it, dude. Can you imagine us playing Xbox 360 games on this thing? On the Steam Deck, that is. He's even playing PS2 games. PS3. I didn't even realize PS3 had an emulator out. That's cool. Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, like everything that you see here, like stuff like PC games, emulators, PS2 emulators, PS1 emulators, Nintendo Switch emulators, you're going to be able to run this, and they're only going to get better over time. So even if the Switch emulator doesn't run perfect now, doesn't mean it's going to not run. It doesn't mean it's not going to improve over time. The Aya Neo hardware upwards of $1,000. Yeah, exactly. So that it just goes to show you though that the Steam Deck is really great value for what you're getting. 600, like Gabe Newell says, the CEO of Valve, he says, the price setting the price point for the Steam Deck was painful because they wanted to strike a balance between, affordability but like bleeding edge hardware. Can you play Steam Deck on TV? Yes, you can, because it's gonna come with a dock that allows you to dock it up, kind of like the Nintendo Switch. But they also pointed out that you can also hold on a second. They also pointed out that you can also just buy a normal off-the-shelf USB-C dock like this one, and have it work with the use this to basically hook up to the TV. As you can see, this one it's got a HDMI out. It's got 3 USB ports, Ethernet, everything like that. It's got all that in it. You could buy one of these off Amazon for like 20 to 30 bucks. You don't have to buy the Steam one. You don't have to buy the Steam version, the Steam dock. So that's something you may want to consider. How about a robot white color? I think that would be nice. Yeah, it would be for sure. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just super excited for this thing, and I want to keep talking about it forever, dude. FAQ thread. Let's give this one a look. Can I play non-controller games with the Steam Deck's built-in controls? Yes, thanks to the Steam input, any game that has been originally designed for mouse and keyboard only can be played without a mouse or keyboard, just using the Steam Deck's own controls. Even if the game requires hundreds of hotkeys, keyboard combinations such as WoW, World of Warcraft, Arma, and Elite Dangerous. I can't wait to play World of Warcraft on this. You'll be able to create custom touch menus for both of the 2 touchpads with up to 16 different keys or macros assigned to each, but that's not the limit. You can also make it so that when you hold one of the 4 back buttons on the controller or any of the other buttons on your choosing, the touchpad keys macros change to a completely different set, so you can theoretically assign more than 100 keys onto a single touchpad. The same can be done for the D-pad and the thumbsticks. Their touch menus can either show the keyboard key that they activate, or you can add custom icons to them. For example, if you play Skyrim, you can have your sword hotkey assigned to 1 and your bow to 2, and then you could add icons with a picture of the sword and bow, making your on-screen touch menu simpler to understand. The Steam Deck also has a touchscreen, so playing games that normally use a mouse, such as Civilization, City Skylines, or Don't Starve, it should work great on that. Even FPS games like CSGO will be very playable on the Steam Deck thanks to the possibility of using the built-in gyro for aiming. So how many games will the Steam Deck support? The Steam Deck will support over 1 million games from day one. This list includes, but it's not limited to, 56,000 plus Steam games. Valve has said that their plan is to get all Steam games working through Proton at launch. Almost all non-Steam window games, Proton can run non-Steam games as well, or alternatively, you can just dual boot to Windows, which include thousands of games from other game launchers, Origin, Uplay, GOG, Epic Game Store, 410,000 plus indie games on itch.io, and 100,000 indie games on GameJolt.com. Basically, you could play virtually every video game out there with this thing, unless it's, of course, like a PS5 exclusive. By the way, I'm not knocking the deck. I'm just part of the first wave of reservations. I'm just trying to keep things realistic. Yeah, let's not that's the thing. Go into this thing with low expectations, and it's probably going to exceed them. Can you do X thing? You can do on a PC on a Steam Deck? Yes, you can do everything on a Steam Deck that you can do on a normal PC, such as install mods for games, run different operating systems such as Windows and Linux, play on a controller or on a mouse and keyboard, play VR games, although mileage may vary for that one, run games at 4K 120 or 8K at 60 on an external monitors, theoretically, play games offline, do productive things like photo editing and web browsing. I can't see anybody installing Photoshop on this thing and like editing photos off the Switch Deck screen. I mean the Steam Deck screen, but it's possible. I can see it happen. After careful consideration, I bought the Steam Deck. Says Clueless Kid. Sweet. Yeah, just got to use his Patreon. They tell you like 10 Switch games. Well, it might get better, Bundy. It might get better. Like I said, I've not dove into like the Switch emulator, but I've seen Pokemon run decently well, and I think over time, hopefully, it gets better and better. So theoretically, right from the get-go, it might not run that many Switch games that well, but over time, hopefully, compatibility and performance and everything gets better. After careful consideration about the Steam Deck. Sweet. How much is the Steam Dock? They haven't announced the price for the Steam Dock yet. But like it says, you can just buy a normal USB-C dock off Amazon for $20-30, and you'll be set. Yeah, 120 FPS. On an external monitor, obviously. I don't think you're gonna. Well, actually, I don't know about 4K 120. You'll be able to do 4K 60 probably. But 4K 120, you'll obviously need to think about like a HDMI 2. I mean, theoretically, you can, depending on the bandwidth of the USB-C port on it. But yeah, yeah, virtually you should be able to. Which version of the Steam Deck should I buy? For most people, the 256 model will offer the best value for money, but it depends a lot on what you're planning to do with it. If you mostly play smaller 2D games, the 64GB option might be the best one for you. On the other hand, if you're planning to run multiple modern AAA games, the 512GB model is probably the best, as modern AAA games may take 30 to 100GB of storage space and the loading times will be slow off of an SD card. What OS does the Steam Deck run? It runs SteamOS, which is an Arch Linux-based custom operating system. The desktop uses KDE Plasma, which is very similar to Windows in appearance and usability. Should I install Windows on the Steam Deck? It's not recommended to replace the default SteamOS operating system with Windows. See this post for a comprehensive explanation on why not. If you really need Windows, you could dual boot to it, having both SteamOS and Windows installed at the same time. This takes up a bit more storage space, but doesn't have the disadvantages of completely wiping out the default SteamOS. Can I use my Steam Wallet funds to buy the Steam Deck? Yes. Where can I see my Steam Deck will be shipped? On the basic Steam Deck page, it'll tell you under the cancel reservation button. Will the internal parts in the Steam Deck be replaceable? The SSD drive will be possible to replace, but it's not meant to be done by end users and not recommended. The replaceability of the other parts are unknown. Does the Steam Deck have support for cellular connection or only Wi-Fi? Only supports Wi-Fi. So that's a lot of the basic questions. I got a 512. Ooh, clearly it's good. The wife's not gonna like that, dude. The wife isn't gonna like it. We're gonna get his. She's gonna sneak in and she's gonna find the Steam Deck page and cancel his reservation. But congrats, dude. Though that's awesome. So yeah, super excited for the Steam Deck. We've covered a lot of the most commonly asked questions. We've had a look at a couple of the memes that are out. We also looked at this drawing that somebody did, and they said, I don't think it's a wrong layout. Valve may be onto something. Inputs are near to the thumb's arch of movement. So I think this is going to be really comfortable to use. There's a lot of people that, it looks weird having all the buttons and thumbsticks up there, but I think it's actually going to be all right. And this guy proves it. He's like hand-drawn, like the arch of movement for your thumb, and basically shows that you'll be able to reach all these inputs pretty comfortably. But yeah, I think we've covered everything. I bought a lot of gaming stuff for the year. I need to retire now. Yeah, we all do. Anyways, I wonder how the headset will work with the Steam Deck. It's got a 3.5mm headphone jack, so theoretically you could just use any sort of headset for it. And you could also, I'd imagine, you can maybe just slap, like if you've got an Arctis 7P or 7X, you could just slap that little USB-C dongle into the top of the Steam Deck and use your headset as you normally would, right? So that's interesting. Welcome new joiners. We're talking details about the Steam Deck. Hashtag Steam Deck. So yeah, drop a like, please. We've only got 6 likes right now. If you could drop a like under the stream, guys, I'd really appreciate it. We're just talking about the Valve Steam Deck. Best community on YouTube. Damn right, dude. I'm going to go grab a drink, I think. Because I'm really thirsty. But yeah, I'm super excited for this thing. Like I says, on this stream, we've covered a lot of the main questions. We've covered use cases for like the 64GB, why you might want to get that. And we've concluded that if you're the middle ground, 256 is still going to be all right. But if you're going to be installing multiple AAA games on the Steam Deck, you're probably going to want to get the 512. But yeah, that's that. I think we'll probably wrap the stream up here. I just wanted to make like a video just covering, you know, what's the up-to-date news is on the Steam Deck. If there's any new announcements, we saw Ubisoft is considering supporting it officially and maybe optimizing their games for the Steam Deck. That's something that we found out today. We obviously found out some things about the Steam Deck itself, you know, what it can run. We had a look at the desktop version of the operating system to see what that's like. We discussed, you know, the input locations, everything basically Steam Deck we discussed today, and had a look at a couple of the memes, which were funny. So yeah, I think that wraps up the stream and wraps up the video. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I know it's a bit of a last minute stream today, or a really short random stream. I know I've been putting out a couple of streams regarding the Steam Deck, but I'm just really excited for it, and I'm looking forward to posting more videos and doing more streams as more information comes out about it that I feel like you guys need to know, and relevant stuff regarding the Steam Deck, because I know a lot of you guys in this community have actually pre-ordered one, like Clueless Kid and British Computer Guides did. But yeah, super excited. And let me know, like it says, drop a like, everyone. Please drop a like under this. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow's EA Play, are you going to be streaming it? I might do. Funny Moments, I might. Yes, I will. I might do that Funny Moments, because I am... Hopefully we'll see a bit more to do with Battlefield 2042. So yeah, I might be streaming it. And good news, if third-party developers optimize games, yeah, that would be perfect, dude. That would be perfect if we start seeing these developers optimize for the Steam Deck. And if the Steam Deck is as popular as I think it's going to be, I think we're going to see a lot of new developers or new company, like new games that come out, have maybe a specific mode or a default mode specifically designed for the Steam Deck. So that'll be fun. Anyways, I love you guys. Peace out. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in an hour for 1v1s on Cold War. Come, bring it on. You're going to get your cheeks clapped if you want to. If you join the stream later. Oh god, the stream's going to be starting in 5 minutes. Damn it! I've only got time to go to the bathroom real fast. All right, I'll be back in like 5. We're going to be doing 1v1s in Cold War again, because why not? I love it. I think it's in 5 minutes. Is it in like 5 minutes? The next stream. I scheduled this last night, dude. I regret it now. I hate being held to a schedule. See you in Warzone. Any PS5 updates? You're on the wrong stream, Lil True. Go to the other stream. We've got a different stream for PS5 stock tracking. But yeah, the next stream is gonna be, let me just double check. It's at 12. Damn it, it's in 5 minutes. I might have to delay it by 5 or 10. So I'll see you guys on the 1v1 Cold War stream, where, you know, we've got members 1v1s. It should be fun. See you then. Peace out.